This week on Not Just Another Sex Podcast.
That's when I got into tarot. I don't know how I ended up in this shop, but here I am. And I want that deck right there.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
you gotta be careful with that word deck. Every time, man, when I say it too fast, it comes out wrong.
And then deck.
Deck.
Yeah, I want those cards.
Hey, Sugar. I feel like there are so many different things that I need to learn as an adult. I'm this nasty on a regular day, like on a Tuesday. I am your host, Samia Burton, and don't worry, it's not just another sex podcast. Hey, you guys, welcome back to Not Just Another Sex Podcast. My name is Samia, and I'm your host for the show. And thank you for tuning in for another episode. Today, we have an amazing guest, an amazing episode, very unconventional, a little different, but we've done that already, so we're just going to do it again. Today's episode, we are joined by Miss Aisha. So, hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Say hello to the folks. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my
Tell
name
them who
is
you
Aisha,
are.
and I'm the owner of Ever Unfolding Minds. I'm a hypnotherapist and body cast artist.
All right. Yes, she said hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
Okay, so like we in the hypnosis realm of things, which I think makes people like, wait, what y'all talking about? Is that real if it's not real? But if you've been rocking, you already know the episodes get somewhere. So stay tuned, open your mind, and let's get into it. So we're gonna start off with the adult tip of the day. Okay, so the adult tip of the day is something that we do to, whether it's a my therapist says or here's a life hack or something like that. Sometimes you can change, and not sometimes, most times, you can change your life within 5 minutes. It doesn't take, a whole bunch all the time, just a little bit each day, 1% better each time, okay? So today it's 5 healthy habits that others might find selfish. And so I wanted this topic because a lot of times we do things that are not the best for us because of what others may think or how they may perceive it. But that's not what we should, that's not what we should do. We should do it anyway. So ones on here are spending time alone. It can help you recharge, reduce stress, and get more done. Some people, though, might think that it's selfish, especially if it means spending less time with friends or family.
Yeah.
But as a mom, as well as I do, that, you can't pour from an empty cup, and you shouldn't. All right, the next one is setting boundaries. Let's pass the collection plate around on that one because that's a huge one, setting boundaries, which means sometimes saying no to things that others may perceive as not a, like, why can't you do it? Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't have to explain yourself, but if it's going to inconvenience you to the point that you have resentment or now you're behind, it's just better to say no up front.
It's important to factor in your self-care and understand where your limitations are. A lot of people don't understand where their limitations are, so they'll push themselves into an uncomfortable place, and then when they need their own energy, they don't have it to pull from. So it's super important to understand where your boundaries are and where you need to draw them.
Absolutely. You get snappy.
Yeah.
You can tell like how people are short with you and things like that. Like, I don't want anybody doing anything for me that's not in the best energy. Like if it's not good for you, if it's going to set you back, I don't want it. No, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
The third one is not following the news. I don't follow the news because
I had to stop.
It's negative. It's negative as fuck.
All day. If you look at it, listen, we about to get bombed. Something's about to happen. It's just like, Lord Jesus, I'm gonna stay in my lane. Just stay in your lane and really just focus on your day, being present. A lot of us aren't present. We're too worried about what's going to happen in the future, what happened in the past. It's so hard to just be present. And so that's always my recommendation. Stay present, stay in the now. And while the news is important, if it doesn't affect you immediately, just focus on what's going on in your day to day.
Yeah. It brings you down. And a lot of people are like, that's really ignorant or things like that. But again, boundaries is about your energy and what you can handle. And honestly, I'm not voting on things every single day. I'm not, I can't stop the bomb today. Like, I can't do that. Exactly. And with anxiety and just empathizing with people. And, I feel that. I feel when other people hurt. So I have to decide when I have space for it and when I don't. And then when I need it, Google is still there. It ain't going nowhere. So
you still have access to the information.
I have access. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
All right. So this one is pursuing your personal goals. That means like starting a business, pursuing a hobby, or traveling can help you feel alive and excited. But people who value stability and security more than personal growth and adventure might think that it's selfish. So I know that I'm a wanderer. I like to go. I like to get in the van and go. I like to disappear. Hell, I lived in another country for 6 months. I like to go.
I love that.
And a lot of people may think that you should do things in a different order, or you should have this first, or things like that. And I feel like it's those experiences that actually fuel me to do, all of this.
It fills your cup.
Yes.
I literally just had this conversation with my aunt because I'm turning 40 like next week.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm turning 40 and we're going away to Bali and Greece. And my aunt's like, you don't have a house. You're not stable. You got kids. You got to focus on I'm like, I hear you. And while that was okay for grandma and grandpa to focus on the household and all those things, for me, the experience of seeing the world is going to fulfill me so much more, to give me energy to do the things that I have to do on my day-to-day. For me, that's a bucket list item. That's going to give me, again, the energy to kind of be my best self.
I feel that.
And it's so hard to get other people to get it. And it's just like, you don't have to get it.
No, not at all.
That's the other part. You don't have to.
No one else has to get it.
But you don't have to get what drives me, right? And I get that stability is important. But at the same time, for me, it's the experience. Yeah. What does that look like? What is the language, the culture? For me, that's what feeds me.
Absolutely. I went to Bali a few years ago, and I was not at my. You Instagram stalking me? I'm honored. And I was not at my best self. I was at a weight that I didn't like. I was a person that I didn't like. But I had started Sexual Essentials. Yeah. And I would wake up every morning before the other ladies had got up, and I would sit out there, and it's like the infinity pools and all that stuff and the rice fields. And I opened up my laptop, and I just pulled up the logo, and I just sat it there. And I said, next time I come back here, it's because I'll just be working, and I just want a different office for the week. Yeah. And that's what my life has changed into. So just having that moment, it was like, whatever it is, I need to get past this because I need to come back here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Bali is amazing, by the way. You're about to have so much fun. So much fun. It's
tap into my whole energy. I'm excited about it. It's going to be really, really 40, good.
It's giving Aries energy.
Yeah, it is, because it's the best sign.
Yes, that's us. I don't know about y'all, but I am definitely at a point where staying home is one of my favorite places to be. It's where I'm the most comfortable. But also at this age, it's where I want to feel the most sensual. So how do I get both? Sexual Essentials thigh-high socks have been amazing. First of all, they actually are made for thick thighs as well. So they go all the way up to my lady parts. So I put them on with a pair of boy shorts or cute undies, crop top, or a large t-shirt. And I'm in the mirror taking selfies, and I just can't get enough of it. I'm super obsessed. So they have 5 colors, and we want you to get 15% off as our loyal listeners. So make sure that you use code NJASP, the initials of the podcast, and you're going to get 15% off your entire order. The link can be found below, or you can check the link in our bio on any of our social medias so that you can get your pair of socks before your color sells out today. All right, now back to the show. All right, and then the last one is taking time for self-care, like exercise, meditation, getting enough sleep, all of that. So, right now I'm in this phase where my head is down. I'm only looking up for the things that God is calling me to, that, my energy is calling me to, that's for me. I'm not doing anything just to do it at this point. Yeah. And for me right now, that is self-care. Like, if it ain't the spa, baby, I get somebody else to do it. If it ain't the spa, get somebody else to do it.
It's so funny. Again, you mentioned that, and January came and everyone does their resolutions, but I did something really different. I started working on myself. Usually it's like, baby, what is your resolution? Mom, what's your resolution? And it's all encompassing, but I focused on myself. And in doing so, everyone else around me changed. I started eating right. Everyone else wanted to get on the meal plan. I started working out 3 times a week. My husband's now at the gym. My mom's working out, lifting weights now. And it's just like, if you focus on yourself, you don't understand. That's where it begins.
It rubs off on other people.
You think that it's selfish, but it's actually selfless, because when you give to yourself, people see it and they want to emulate it. It inspires.
Absolutely. So that post came from Fitting Right In on Instagram. It just came across the timeline. Yeah. So shout out to you. We appreciate you for the adult tip of the day. So we're going to get into Twitter talk. So Twitter talk, Twitter has been through a lot of changes, but one thing is that viral conversations, the craziness, the good stuff, the bad stuff, all of it usually stems from Twitter and more specifically Black Twitter. So we always play homage. We do this every episode. We pay our respects to Black Twitter. And today's quote is it was just a tweet. Learn to be done, not bad, not mad, not bothered. And I felt that. Hold on, did I get the whole post? Let me see. Learn to be done, not mad, and not bothered. My clickety clackers, messing up. All right, learn to be done, not bad, not bothered, just done. You're too busy for it. Your time is too valuable. Protect your peace at all costs. Yeah. And ironically, I thought this could segue into how you and I met.
Yeah.
You like what I did there? All right, so
I like what you did there.
You like what I did there? You like that? So I met Aisha because I was dating in the past her brother and sister-in-law. I was dating a couple, and it was a very short time. But what I walked away from that situation with was great orgasms and you. And you, tarot cards. And I do believe that everything happens for a reason. Yeah. I am not a messy person. I believe in stating my piece. I believe in walking away if something doesn't fit. And that's that. And I'm grateful for that, because sometimes you are in situations for a moment because it's a doorway.
Yes.
It's the thing that you need. And in my healing journey, you were the next thing for me. And that is what this episode is about today. So welcome to the best show on the planet.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, very, very excited. So I want to talk about first of all, when I called you, we did a tarot reading.
Yes.
And it was like, I think I had just lost my Instagram page then, right?
Yep.
I was doing the art exhibit, which is the live sex art show. You guys tap into Patreon, watch the documentary. It is amazing. But I was doing the art exhibit, and I was nervous. I was worried because now I had lost my main marketing system. And I was just like, something has to change. And so, I have my astrologist, I have my life coach, I have all the things, right? That tap into me spiritually. But I was just like, well, let me get into these tarot cards a little more.
Yep.
And I was going through a phase, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was going through a phase where I was learning to get the answers from me first, and then seek from the outside, make up my mind first,
get the confirmation.
Absolutely. And for a person that's very sure about what I want, it's crazy how much indecisiveness there really is when you're trying to move forward with imposter syndrome and you're trying. Yeah. You're either doing or you're not. Yeah. And it was all this trying that was confusing me, because really what I wanted was some big shit. And I was trying to find a way to stay small. Yeah. And it just wasn't working. And so you pulled my cards. And I don't remember exactly what came up, but you were like, there's
more. It was a lot of success. Like, go for it.
She was like, do it.
Take the leap. You were still deciding on whether to get the house, and you were just like, I'm gonna do it. Should I do it? Are you sure I should do it? I'm like, girl, do it. It's a hell yeah.
Yes, I was at a point where if it's not hell yes, it's a no.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's not a hell yes, the answer is no, which means that you need more time. And I was like, I want this, and I was like, I want to spend it all, and I want to do this. And the more that I talked, you were like, yes, like that, yeah, more of that. Yeah. And you also told me, yeah, leave him alone. You need to move on. You were like, that's not it. That's not it.
It's not love him. Not it.
That's not it. And so you recommended to me at the end of the session, you were like, Samia, I think that you should really do this hypnotherapy session. And something that stuck with me, she was like, I see you. Yeah. But I don't think you see you.
That's it.
And she was like, what is that? She was like, because you weren't born that way. Like, it was crazy. She was like, you weren't born this way. So where did you pick that up? And she had me floored. Y'all know I talk a lot. Like, that takes a lot for me to be silent. And I was just like, I don't know. And it wasn't in the trauma. It was before that.
Yeah.
It was before that. And so I want to walk people through like what that experience was.
I love it.
What happened. And, you know, to prep them for how to if you want to embark on this, like a reason to consider it. I want to explain why this was a good option for me. I want to explain like the things that I changed during our session. I was like, that don't work for me.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
What? Okay,
girl. But it is about you. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you pay for a service, whenever you do something and you show up, like, you know, serving, you do have to adjust, and you adjusted so well. And I had an amazing experience, and I feel like that was the last major time that I did any not spiritual work, but a major spiritual shift. And since then, I haven't looked back.
Good.
And so there is no imposter syndrome. I absolutely am that girl.
Amen.
And I don't care who else sees it. It's just I feel good.
That's it.
I feel good as fuck.
Hey, you guys, it's your host, Samia. If you're enjoying the topics over here, honestly, I think you'd love the topics over on my learning platform. I have some private interviews over there with some amazing guests. I've interviewed Mr. Marcus, yes, that's the porn star, Passion Jones, who brought on her husband and her boyfriend, and even had some girls' night conversations with Medina from Cocktails, as well as Mila from Good Moms, Bad Choices. That conversation was amazing. We did some examples of our dirty talk, and let's just say you need to check it out. Don't just take my word for it. Make sure that you click the link below and sign up today. There are over 250 workshops, classes, interviews, and so much more. All right, now back to the show.
You know, so, all right. Let's start off with, we talked about weight loss and committing, talking about why I could not commit. I mean, now, you know, we've done it. But we talked about why you can't commit to the things that you want to. We hit on discipline. I had amazing discipline. And I wasn't drinking. Remember, I stopped drinking.
You stopped drinking,
I stopped drinking at that time, but I didn't like that I still desired it at that point. At that point, I was like, some champagne would be so nice. Like, and I didn't want to desire it anymore. And I didn't want to, question what if when I did things. And
you wanted to feel whole without all the added extra stuff. That's what I really got from you. It was like you didn't want to need or be dependent on anyone, anything. And that's what I feel hypnotherapy is made for. It is the empowerment of yourself. It's showing you that you have everything within you already to be successful. Whatever you believe you can do, you can. It's just that you have to get out of your own way, because we have that little monkey in our brain that tells us all the time that, bitch, who you think you are? Stop it. And it's just it's the simple things. It's just like, you don't even have to get up. You work for yourself. And it's just like, no, I need to do the things that I know I need to do to be successful. And it's like you want success, but your mind, because your body's not used to, your mind and your body's not used to you going for things and stepping out of your comfort zone.
New habits.
Breaking the old habits, creating new habits, and understanding why. Why am I the way that I am? That's what I love about hypnotherapy, because it reframes your own beliefs about your experiences. It's like, for example, I'm going to talk about me. When I was had my first hypnotherapy session, I went back to when I was 5. At that point, I wasn't thinking about being an artist, but my mom came through my bedroom, because that's the way our our apartment was set up. Her room was through my bedroom. And she looked at my cousin and was like, oh, Yajida, your work is so beautiful, and kept it moving. In that moment, I associated that with, oh, I'm not the artist. Now that I'm an adult and want to become an artist, or I am an artist, right? Okay. Change the way you speak about yourself. Right? Now that I am an artist, I had to break away. That thought never came to my mind prior to me pricing my artwork. I struggled so much pricing my things, because it was just like imposter syndrome. Yeah. How can I charge? How can I charge X? And it's just like, oh, I don't have to feel that. My mom didn't say that maliciously. Yeah. I can let go of that. I was 5. That is reasonable as a 5-year-old. But as a 30-something-year-old person, I don't need to feel that way anymore.
It's what you needed at 5 was to be told that it was good.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy
it's
how
I don't need that.
It's so crazy how our mind frames
holds on to things.
Yes, and how it creates rejection out of, like, even when speaking to my son, I correct myself so much. Yeah. Or I talk it's the one time that I talk slow because I'm very intentional about the words that I'm saying to him, right? Because I'm like, damn, in 30 years, he gonna be in therapy talking about my mama said, my mama said put on some deodorant, I stink. Like, I don't know. And so, and it worries me, but I realize trauma or inconsistencies are created usually when they're not healed or talked about properly. And that's why everyone should, get some form of therapy, because you have no idea what's lying below. But for me, we went through this. We went through that as well. And what I knew is I was tired of feeling like I was following steps to be successful.
Yeah.
I didn't like that I knew how to be a great woman, but it was more so, I have to do it. You know what I mean? Like feeling I have to be a certain way.
It wasn't a flow. It was kind of static almost. Like you were kind of
I felt like I memorized the steps.
Yeah.
And they say fake it till you make it. But something wasn't clicking. And yes, I was very happy. I was happy.
Yeah.
When I came to you, but I was like, it's still not there. And this is not me being a perfectionist. This is saying that there's still more space.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So when we did the hypnotherapy session, I was like, what that mean? You gonna like put a little clock,
First of all, it's virtual, so everyone gets thrown off by that because they're just like, wait, what? You can do this over Zoom? I'm like,
yes. And so we got on there. It was on Zoom, and I was like, I really don't want you looking at me, and I'm so sorry.
Listen.
I said, I'm so sorry, but you cannot be looking at me. And she was like, well, I need to see you. You're making me uncomfortable. And so she's like, well, I need to see you.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you're going to relax in certain point. And I need to know when to move forward. I said, well, I'm going to cut you off. She said, do it.
Do whatever you
I was like,
do
okay.
Yeah.
So I heard her voice and I was like, so what's going to happen? You're like, you're just going to meditate. And so you guys, we've talked about this on other episodes, and like that spiritual tip of the day, which is meditating, which is breathing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just aligning right with oneself, which is focusing on your breath. And I know you like what, I know when I first heard these things, it was like, what the hell does aligning with oneself mean?
How does that happen?
What is this? And it's literally focusing on your breath. So it's just like if I say, stare at this wall, all your energy would go towards there. And I'm saying breathe, focus on your breath, make sure that you're not pausing. Or a lot of times people stop breathing and they don't even know it. And then they're like, because you weren't breathing, right? So we did that for a little bit, and you were like, I just want you to meditate. I'm just going to talk to you.
Yeah.
You was like, I don't need you to do anything. And so I know there was a moment where I was like, damn, I look hella stupid. And that wasn't helping.
No, you were definitely getting frustrated. I was like, I could tell you're mad, but we're going to keep on going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she was like, breathe.
Past uncomfortable.
We moved way past uncomfortable, which I did not like. So who was, first of all, we went to breathing, and then you just asked me different questions about how I felt about myself.
In RTT hypnotherapy, basically there is a process, and there is a proprietary process that walks you through the process of getting into hypnosis. Okay. We walk you down the stairs, and the point is everyone thinks that they're going to see stairs, they're going to feel stairs, and I'm saying those things, but the reality is so that you feel so encompassed in what I'm saying, the visuals that I'm giving you, that you're not thinking about your own thoughts. Right. That's really the purpose of it. It's purposely just for relaxation.
To disconnect.
And
that's
and once you get there, I might snap my fingers and everyone's like, I don't think I can be hypnotized. I'm like,
okay. And here we are.
Yeah. You're good.
And so you're just totally present in what we're talking about. So that's really what happened. Like if somebody had walked in my room, I would have known.
Yes.
Like I wasn't
You're
like
super aware.
Yeah, I was very aware. Hell, when we heard a noise, I was like, you're like, come back. Like, just pay attention. So we did that, and we went through some questions, and it was very vulnerable. So this time I started relaxing. I didn't care what I looked like. I didn't care about any of that, which was very important, right? And so get past that, you guys. Don't worry about if you feel silly. You might feel silly, but then eventually you won't, right? See it through. And so you asked me some questions based off some research we did before.
Your intake form. So before we even get the chance to do the Zoom, you have fill out an intake form. We have conversations about the thing you say you want to focus on, whatever that thing is. You know, if it's smoking, if it's success, if it's weight loss, whatever the thing is, we kind of really get into the nitty gritty of it. Like, what are your beliefs about whatever the thing is?
Breaking habits.
Breaking those habits, because I have to understand where you are so that we can, and also know where you want to be, right? Because that's part of the difference for me when I work with my clients. I leave you guys with audios that you get to listen to after the hypnosis is over. So the hypnosis kind of rewires your mind, but the tape locks it in. The audio locks it in.
Yes.
So it keeps it going, because it takes 21 days for you to create a new habit. And by you listening to that audio, it is creating is locking in, solidifying that new you. Right.
So we got into two scenarios. So you asked me a question, and then you said, I'm going to ask you a question, and the first memory that comes to mind, I just want you to say it.
Yep.
And so that's where I was like, okay, this is much lighter than what I thought it was then. So I remember you asked me, where did, I think it was I think we recorded it, but we ain't got it right now.
No, I don't record them, but I record the audios, which is the end portion. I don't record the regression portion.
You ended up asking me what made you feel like you have to, something around like being a certain way or be accepted, something along that lines. And I explained and the scenario that came back, and you could hear the confusion in my voice. I said, well, I was at a birthday and I wanted to go with my grandmother because my grandmother was fun. I said I did not feel like I had to fake with my grandma. But I didn't realize at the time, at a young age, and I think it was around like 5 or 6, that it was her birthday party that we were at. And so, you know, I mean, you grown now. You know, at your birthday party, you ain't taking no kids home. Nah, that man. Part. If I ain't come with you, you ain't going home with me.
Exactly.
And so, you know, for me, and just looking at that situation, it was the fact that I did not want to go home with my parents because I knew
rejected.
I didn't know why she didn't want me to go with her. But I realized then, okay, now I have to act a certain way so I don't get treated a certain way by my parents. And I could see that they did not want me to go home with them, which meant I was going to have to act even more good, go clean up something to, you know what I'm saying? I had to perform, overcompensate. And it wasn't true. That's not really what I wanted to be. I just wanted to be, you know what I mean? And so it was even just then that we dug into that, and you were like, why? And you kept asking me why. And that's when I was like, all right, bitch.
Exactly.
So mad. I was so mad. And she was like, and you had never seen me upset.
No.
And I hadn't been upset. I haven't been upset, you know, in a so long. And I was like, damn, I'm kind of being a little mean. And he was like, I can take it. It's fine. She was like, you're getting somewhere. And it was then that I realized that if I wanted my parents to give me affection in a certain type of way, I had to behave a certain type of way, you know? So there was that.
It wasn't unconditional. It was definitely conditional.
It was very conditional to what made their life easier. You know, we had to act a certain way. So there was that. And then you did it again. And you asked me you asked another question. And she was like, why do you... It was something along the lines of, why do you feel like you can't have the success that you want? She was like, what? First of all, she asked me, what do you really want? Which scared the shit out of me because I realized, but you want a lot. You want a lot, and you want a lot of expensive shit.
Amen.
I was like, I want to go to these countries, and I want to do this, and I want to own this content house, and I want to have a TV network. And it was all these things. And she was like, I get, you know, so we got there. And she was like, and why do you think that you can't have that? Like, what is the problem with that?
Yeah.
And so she asked me again, what was that scenario? And that scenario actually slapped a little harder because that was, it was elementary school, and I'm definitely one of those people that like to win.
Yes, clearly.
I do. I make everything some type of fun, some type of game. Just, you know, like always.
Whatever
just
you
mentally,
have to do to get over it and through it.
And so it was a spelling bee at school, and I had won the one from my class.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I came home and I told my mom and them, I was like, hey, I'm about to be in the school one, so I need to put on my dress with the flowers. Like, that's the one I need to be in because, you know, and the next day my mom woke up and she said she had a headache.
Yep.
And so she was like, you know, you should stay home with me today. And you know me, I'm like, this is good. Like, I'm about to be like, I want to do this. I want to win. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was not that kid that grew up winning things, you know? And I was like, I wanted to win. I know I can spell these words.
Exactly.
Like,
I got this.
I got this. And so she was just like, you know, we can stay home and watch TV and you can help me get better. But me as a emotionally deprived child. That sounded like heaven. Like, you're going to be nice to me today? You know what I mean? Nice to me today? And so that's when we realized like the things and people, I was going where the affection was constantly in life. And when I was comparing things to my parents, almost everything was better. Yeah. Even shitty people were better than my parents. No offense. Like, I love y'all, but y'all fucked up. And everything was better. And so I always would be able to find comfort in that because it was still better than home. Yep. You know? And so I, I told my dad, well, I really want to go to the thing. He was like, well, tell her. And I told her and I went. Yeah. And I won. And then I came home and she had the worst attitude. She was up. I was like, bitch, where's your headache? Yeah, like,
didn't
she
celebrate
felt fine, did not celebrate me. And she was like, you could take that dress off, time to clean now. Like, that was their thing. Like, punishments were all... We used to have to take all the dishes out of the house and like clean all the dishes. Wow. And it would be like, and like now as an adult, it's like, bro, what did I do? Because you pulled a plate out and it was dirty, so now I have to pull them all out and wash them. First of all, I'm a grown-ass woman, and to this day, if you pull a plate out, it might be dirty, which is why I have to clean it later. Like, exactly. I hate washing dishes now to this point. Like, and just watching her energy changed and how she overlooked all of that. You know what I mean? And so it was then that I realized I can be good. Yeah. But I can't be the best, or my mom will be upset. Yeah. So there's a good, like, I could be the best of the averages. And that's where I kept staying in life. I was constantly the best of the averages. Yeah. You know what I mean? But every time it was past that, I would clam up and I wouldn't move forward and I wouldn't do the things. And at this point, Sexual Essentials was the best of the averages. And that was my truth. It was doing amazing things, but it was time for it to move on and be something different. It was more than influencing. You know what I'm saying? And so... And we talked, and we talked about it. And it was like, why? Ugh, I did not like you at that moment. And it was because I want her to love me. Yeah. And if she loves me at average, then I'll be average. You know? And
so you hold yourself back in every aspect of your life. Yes,
every aspect. And we were there. Ooh, I better not cry and mess up this makeup. Don't do it.
Don't do it. You got it. It's okay.
Because I look too goddamn good today. Okay, so... And so, it was just really crazy. And you were like, so as an adult, you asked me, well, why are you doing it now? And I was like, to protect myself. And you were like, well, why are you trying to protect myself? And this is when I was about to say, I'm done with this, because you were pushing me. Mind you guys, I'm explaining it in one time, but she was asking me like 10 repeatedly times, why did you do it? Why did you do it? Why you stop doing it? To protect myself. Why are you trying? Because I love myself. And we were done. Yeah. And she was like, you love you and you constantly do things to make yourself okay, but you're okay now. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're okay now. And so we got through that. We had cried. I apologized for being mean and all that shit. I was like, I'm so sorry. She was like, I've never seen you upset.
I know. No, it's good because, that's the role. I consider myself, when people think about hypnosis, they think of mind control. And I think that that's the biggest thing to dispel. Yes, hypnosis is about suggestibility, but hypnotherapy is about empowering the client. And when I put someone through hypnosis, it's really to help them rediscover who they are and their own power. Like, no one really understands how powerful their mind is, because that's not something we're taught growing up. It's like, fall in line, do what we're told, get through school, go to college, and it's just like it's never discover yourself. Yeah. It's never take that moment to be like, how do I really feel about this?
And it's usually around safety. Like, even when we do that with our children, it's because we're trying to keep them safe. Yep. And when we do it with our partners, it's
be careful.
Yeah, you have to let go. If you really want it, you have to let go. Yep. And so I let go. And it was like, you are safe. Like, look around you, and you know what I mean? And so you're like, the situation you're in now is no longer safe. It's time to move on. And so it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy how it happens. And so, we did some of that, and then you gave me the recording, right? So after this, so even when I just opened she was like, you open your eyes when you're ready. I was like, okay. And so we did that, and finally I felt, and I know it sounds so
you took
cliche.
A day to process.
I did. I was like, I don't have the energy.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to talk to you right now because I do not like how I'm speaking to you. Yeah. And it was like this. I was talking short. I wasn't necessarily being rude, but I was being short. I did not have any more emotion left. And I was like, that bitch took everything. Boy, she took it all. And I took a day. Yeah. But when you and me talked, I said, girl, I know what you did to me, but I didn't have the void. I didn't feel like I was thinking about being great. I was just being. It was just letting all of that go, that I was not that person anymore. But also your mind keeps replaying and redoing things because it's looking for an answer. It's looking for it to work. It's looking for it to work, but I never gave it an answer. And so through that session, what I got was answers. Answers, and a lot of times we think that, I mean, you know, I've shared my story. You have molestation, you got pedophilia, you got a lot of shit in there. You know what I'm saying? And none of the memories were connected to those big things. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Those things weren't my fault. You know what I mean? How we perceive things when we're younger, that's the point of therapy, just to make sure that the way things, you know, were pieced together is proper. You know what I mean? And so we fixed that. And so my mind hasn't went back. We've just kept going, you know? And so I listened to the audio, and I listen to it every night. You know, I'm a masturbating manifester anyway, so that was and so I didn't have a problem with that. I felt a little creepy because I threw it in my masturbation and manifestation session. I was like, "Am I masturbating to this lady's voice?" I was like, and so I had read a little bit. For me, connecting and thinking about things during orgasm is one of the most powerful. It's the most powerful because that's when you're not thinking about anybody else.
And
that's
you're
when
the highest point of pleasure, which is the thing that helps you manifest when you're actually being in that that joy, that illicit, uninhibited, just like peace.
Yeah,
it's so powerful.
It was so great. And by the end, I can't remember the last time I listened. Every now and then I listen to it just to make sure it's there. But I've moved on.
That's it.
I've moved on. My mind
have it for whenever you need it. Like if you feel like, oh, I'm feeling a little off, toss it in, listen to it. Yeah. But for the most part, it's yours. It's yours to listen to as many times or not as many times as you want. You know what I'm saying? It really is the beautiful part of what I do. People are left with something that's tangible. That's a tool that they can use and pull out whenever they need it.
It was very enlightening just to some of the things, but it also taught me that sometimes you're giving too much credit to shit that's not the problem. A lot of times, you know, you try to blame, and you know, I'm huge on accountability, you know, but a lot of times you try to blame it on this and this what was wrong, and you know, I've stayed and studied my trauma for so long because it was so extensive to make sure that I'm becoming who I need to be. Yeah. But it was like, baby, you're good. You're past that. This is just an old thing that you needed clarity on, and so sometimes just even giving yourself more grace and. It's not as serious as you think it is. It's not. The only thing that's serious is your happiness and doing the work.
And if you've done the work, allow yourself the peace of letting it go.
Let it go.
Doing the work and feeling like, I feel like I got more work to do. Like, you will be in forever work if you don't give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just allow yourself to just be.
So my question is, who do you think, for those that are listening, who makes a good candidate, or what made you feel that, you know what, somebody, because you suggested the hypnotherapy to me, and I just called you for a tarot reading. What types of people or situations, so that way they can say, maybe that's something I should try with you.
So honestly, I focus on teens, young adults, transitioning into adulthood, and expecting moms. Those are like my focus, is because that's what I
expecting moms.
Okay. Yep. In hypnobirthing.
Okay.
Because for me, those are the points that I struggled with. How do I move forward? I'm about to have this big ass baby. How he gonna get out? I know I don't want medicine. I'm having a water birth. Like all those things in high school, transitioning into college. Like I didn't want to go to the college I went to, but I went because my parents wanted me to go, and it's like, you're gonna be the first one to go, and I'm like, fine, I'll go. End up dropping out. And it's just like all of these things, if I had self-validation, empowerment within my own voice, I would have handled it differently. Yeah. Yes, I could have looked into counseling and found out ways to get to the college I actually wanted to go to, but I was looking to blame somebody. And that's everybody. Everyone's looking to project why they can't be successful, why they can't have what they want to have. And basically anyone I suggest for hypnotherapy is someone that is really ready to let go of the excuses and become empowered. It's blanket, yes, but it's so few people that are actually ready to let go of their excuses.
Yeah.
Because people like being the victim, even if they don't really consciously know it.
Yeah.
They be like, I don't want to be the one.
Yeah. I got to do this.
Yeah,
and
I'm a single mom and I can't. And it's just like, you're a single mom and you got this. You know, I work at a birth center also.
What?
Yeah, I work at a birth center and
You be water birthing and stuff?
I don't do that. I basically I basically talk to the women, giving them tips and tricks on how to get through the idea of not just the pain of birth, but just every aspect, the emotional part of it. Some of the women are single. They left as soon as they found out they were pregnant. Like all of the things that impact you, that prevent you from being your best you. So I give them tips and tricks on how to relax during labor. And it's so important that most of the time we end up talking about not what you would think is, which is contractions and labor and pain. It's more like, how are you feeling today? I had one lady tell me that she didn't feel like she was worthy. She had 8 kids on her 9th. I'm not worthy to give time to myself, girl. I was like, wait, that's You
and
need
I'm
hypnotherapy
chuckling because that's sometimes how we are.
Exactly.
I get it.
We don't get to have time for ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to give to our husbands. We got to give to the kids. We got to give to our employers. We got to give to everyone else. The minute you sit down for yourself, it's just like you feel guilty.
Yeah.
Like I could be doing something else that could be given to somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's just like you have nothing to give because she literally fell apart. As soon as I said like, why do you feel like you shouldn't be given time to yourself?
So really you're digging into the issues that you need to clear up before. So anything that's standing in the way from transitioning somewhere in your life, or you're doing it and you're not just like, because you know what, when we go to the store, we say, all right, I'm gonna go to the store. And that's it. That's the thing. I'm just gonna go to the store. I'm gonna go do the thing. But then when we're like, oh, I'm gonna make this business, it's like, and then you shrink.
Yeah.
And I know people, you get tired of shrinking.
Yeah.
You get tired of shrinking.
And most of the time it's because you haven't seen it done. You go to the grocery store because you know your mom, went with your grandma to the grocery store. If you haven't seen someone create a business, a thriving business, you don't think you're capable of it.
Be a thriving person, or be a thriving person.
You don't think you're capable of it. So getting through that block of self-worth is so important.
Hey, you guys, it's your host, Samia. And for those of you who didn't know, I'm also the CEO and founder of Sexual Essentials. One of my favorite parts about building that brand was creating a learning platform that has over 250 workshops, interviews, and so much more. Some of my favorite components are the sex position demos. Yes, you heard that right. Demos. They're featuring some people that you may already know. Good Moms Bad Choices has demonstrated some positions for us, as well as Dara. You remember her from our first episode. Those are some of my faves, as well as the lingam and yoni massages. These are great additions to add to your oral loving for your partner. Yes, I said oral loving. I'm trying to keep it clean, guys. Anyways, they are great additions and a great way to spice things up. Outside of our masterclasses, add one of these on to your normal routine and really wow your partner. Click the link below or in any of the links in our bio and sign up for our courses today. All right, now back to the show.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. That was I
hope I answered it.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
you said
good,
people
good.
that feel yes.
Yeah.
If you're not clear, I love where it went, and I want you. I want you to share those things because it's not just people that are having imposter syndrome, but imposter syndrome shows up wherever you are, and I think you face it head on. It's time for that. So anybody that is trying to get over a hurdle, or you guys, I promise you, the work is going to be hard, but it won't feel like you're forcing.
No,
and a lot of us feel like we're forcing to do, you know what I mean? To do things. And if you feel like you're forcing it or feel like, you know what I mean? Then this may be something.
If you feel like there's resistance, right? If you
resistance,
feel like,
that's a great word. Yes.
If you feel like there's resistance, then come to me.
Come on, baby.
Because
come on, baby.
that's really what we're gonna go do is reframe that for you. Understand why you had that resistance, and then you allow yourself to let it go.
Yeah. Okay. And honest, it really let me let something go. You know how you can learn something, you can know that it's wrong, you can do all the steps and all those things, but how do you actually forget. We say you forgive, but you don't forget. Well, some shit I need to forget. It's tired. I'm 30 now. You know what I'm saying? We almost 31. You know what I'm saying? Depending on when y'all listen to this. It might be 31. Okay, so we're going to transition to the advice segment where we're just going to hit on what other spiritual avenues do you suggest people try, whether that's a practice just to maybe incorporate or try differently, or even maybe a step that they can take at home before they call you. I know definitely meditating.
I was just going to say it. Meditating was how I got into becoming more self-aware.
Because you have to calm everything else down.
Yeah. And then when I started meditating, I know we're going to get into it later, but that's when I got into tarot. I didn't know why. Like, I wasn't one of those people that I was always into tarot as a teenager, but I was just like, oh, I'm going to go to somebody else and they're going to tell me what's going on. And when I got into meditation, I was just like, I don't know how I ended up in this shop, but here I am. And I want that deck right there.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
you gotta be careful with that word deck. Every time, man, when I say it too fast, it comes out wrong. And then,
deck.
Yeah,
I want those cards. And so it's all about becoming more mindful. It's whatever that thing is, you're gonna be drawn to it. I can tell you meditation, but some people think meditation means silently sitting there, focusing on your breath. It could be you listening to music. Meditation or a hypnotic state is induced all the time, almost daily. Have you ever been zoned out?
You know what it reminds me of? A meditative state? Tantra.
Yeah. It's a form,
the Tantra, you said it's what?
It's a form.
Girl, I thought you said it's porn. I was like, no, it's what?
Form. Speaking to the mic.
I wasn't the only one. The female gallery said they thought it was too. It wasn't just me. I was like, I mean, I know it's the show, but all right. No. I tell people all the time, people be like, what is Tantra? And Tantra is that, you know that, and I always use this example, you know how you go to the beach or vacation, wherever your place is, and you glow from the inside out and everything feels okay, that it's okay, that it's worth it, where everything feels worth it, and you like, yo, I wouldn't change it. That moment where you wouldn't change anything and you're sitting in it and you're at the beach and you can smell and you can see and you can feel like the wind
colors
on your shoulders.
Are brighter. Everything is just
it's all
different.
the senses. When all my senses are active, I feel in a very balanced place. But a lot of times we go through the day, you don't realize you can't even smell what it smells like in here, or you can't hear like the little pin drop. I'm very present in my body. You know what I mean? And I like that. I think that's where some of the sensuality and things come from. I feel everything, which is a gift and a curse.
I was going to say,
That empath shit is no joke. I really feel it all.
Because then you have to learn a different skill of learning when it's not your energy. Yeah, gotta let that go.
All right, and so we are going to end this episode with, I'm a little nervous because...
Don't be nervous.
I'm very excited because...
There you go. I like the word change. There you go.
Yes, ma'am. Get me together. I'm very excited because we're going to end the spiritual tip of the day with Miss Aisha pulling some tarot cards for me on the episode. I'm calming my heart as we speak right now.
Take a deep breath in.
And I'm going to follow your lead. I'm going to let you take over. What do you want? Yeah, you can do what you need to do just whenever you talk. You can just pull it back. Yeah, we are real people. These are real things. So guess what? We move mics and all of that. You hear noises?
Okay, so you want 3 questions. You want 3 in a bonus?
Three. You're mocking me. You know I love a 3 in a bonus. I'm not asking any questions. Just whatever is what needs to be said at the moment. And what would you like me to do? You want me to focus?
No, you don't need to do anything.
You say that every time, and I'm like, what I need to do?
You don't need to do anything. It really is.
I'm so excited you're here.
Me too.
We had a call 6 months ago, and I was like, I think I should do something big. And then here we are shooting at the Something Extraordinary Content House. Shameless plug.
Amen.
Okay. Yes. And and you said all the things that I needed would be coming to me. So let's talk about this face. My makeup artist is here today. Coach's Couture. We're going to drop names here.
There you go.
My hair. I went to a conference last week. You said you'd be in these rooms and you'd be speaking. And a woman came up to me and said, I've been following you for years and I want to do your hair. And she does celebrity hair. And I'm like, me?
Wow.
Me? And we're going to place her name here, Jakia. She hooked me up. I'm looking like, sexy spice up. Y'all can't tell me nothing all day.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be out of control all day.
I'm not taking this makeup.
No. I'm sleeping just like this.
I'm sleeping.
I'm sleeping just like this. All right. So it looks like she has 3 cards.
And a bonus.
And a
bonus.
All right.
So we have the 8 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. Girl, every time I read for you,
Ace of Pentacles keeps coming up.
Your wheelhouse, and it basically is 8 of Pentacles is talking about your work and the diligence that you put into it, the details that you put into your work, and how you're kind of just building.
Bring your mic up to you a little bit, just in case. There you go. Speak to the mic.
And just so basically, with you focusing on your work, you're bringing in more money. With the Ace of Pentacles, because you've always kind of been successful from your past job, I'm seeing this as more of what you've got.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. You and my life coach and my astrologist were like, everything that you lost, which I didn't lose, I put it here.
Exactly.
It was like, it's coming back 3-fold, 5-fold. Like, don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that.
It's bigger. And it's all about you just taking action on the things that inspire you with the Ace of Wands, because that's an inspired action. And then you have the 10 of Pentacles ending your little reading. And this ain't little, because 10 of Pentacles is an abundance of money. Girl, I just love, like, look at it. When I say abundance, it's not like, oh, I'm going to make a couple of million. It's big money. It's bigger than
big money.
It's bigger than what you can actually perceive for yourself. So if you are a millionaire, you would be like, oh, what's the next tier? What's the next thing? What's the next level? That's what the 10 of Pentacles is for me when it comes up. So when I tell you your work is good, girl, stop worrying.
At this point, I'm not worrying.
I'm
doing
your passion. There you go.
I'm doing it.
Inspired action.
This
constantly.
weekend was so special to me because it was everything. It was everything that I said I wanted months ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, in 6 months I'm gonna have done it. Right? And then here we are 6 months later. And I'm doing it, right? Yes. And it's not at the point that I wanted it, but it didn't matter. It's the doing it.
It's the work.
It's the everything. The guests staying here. You, I staying the night. This is what we're doing, and signing resident vendors, and now I have a videographer for the content house. Now that'll make me cry. Shout out to B Oates. Just very excited for people that see the vision and that are hungry. And I know what it felt like when I found out I was a millionaire. Yeah. And I didn't feel whole. And I didn't feel everything. And it was, I was doing, but it was like, I said, that had expired. Yeah. You know what I mean? And now it's like, now there is no money. It's just the house and the things and the assets and the feeling. And it feels better than when I found out.
Focus on the work. Everything else will just fall into place. Focus on the passion. Focus on the things that bring you actual joy.
Right.
Because that's giving back to yourself.
Yes.
So you can fulfill the other things and you have more energy to do the detail work that may not be your favorite all the time, right?
Yes.
So yeah.
Ace of Pentacles comes up for me all the time. When I pull so there was a little bit that it stopped coming up, but it was when I was in the depth of this. Yeah. Like the week after I bought the house, the kitchen ceiling fell in. Remember, I was like, girl, this story gonna be hella good. My ceiling just fell in, and everybody was like, God. Bro, like I was going crazy, but I was like, nah, this just make it better. Stories are better when you sleep in your car.
That's
like just for a couple nights.
When it's a little hard,
When it's a little hard, and I was like, oh shit about to get good, right? Yeah. And then every time I was like, yo, like we ran out of money like 4 times. You know what I'm saying? But exactly. But everything that I need, like, keeps showing up. You know what I'm saying? I'm being asked to come into spaces where the things that I need are there. I'm meeting the people that are putting me in places and that are willing to listen to me. And they're like, yo, say less. Like, and alignment and timing. Like there was a sponsor I've been trying to get in here for months that came and saw it. And the first words that he said to me was, I don't work that job anymore. Oh, wow. But I do work the national of a bigger company. Yeah. I was like, It's timing. Wow. I couldn't get him in here when I was supposed to get him in here because timing. And if he had come in here when I wanted him in here, he wouldn't have seen the whole thing. It was learning to be patient. Like when I tell you I'm sitting with that, when I'm telling you I have let go, I make an effort. And if I get resistance, I say, okay.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Not pushing, allowing. And so there is a freedom with that. And I've been enjoying that. So I've been pulling my cards. So I
want to actually pull another one from my deck. This is the deck that I created. Because I'm just feeling like
I'm excited.
And so when I feel like, and that's listening to your intuition, right? It's like if you feel it, just go with it. Okay.
When I tell y'all, I be in my bed trying to shuffle my cards like this, and my little tiny little hands.
So a year from now, it says that you're not fully aligned right now with everything that you want to do. Like, I think you need to do more work in the passion portion.
I know where it's sending me.
See, this is what I'm saying. Because it's saying a year from now, you're going to be in a...
It's, look, my producer over there talking shit, yo.
Okay. So that is confirmation then? You know what I'm talking about.
I'm in front of the camera now, but I know that I'm making my way behind the camera, and it's been very addicting. It's been very addicting. Like, this is beautiful. I love this. This was meant to be, but this was
the stepping stone.
The podcast is beautiful, and it's me not giving up on Sexual Essentials and being and telling that story because you guys deserve to know where I started from and how I did this, and understand that I'm not telling you just to fuck yourself for shits and giggles. I'm telling you that orgasms and seeing got me through so many things, and you have to find your avenue to get to healing. My entryway was sex. You know what I'm saying? And not in a great way, in a bad way. And deciding that, no, I deserve good sex in my life. And honey, it got to be there. So changing for that. But that's this podcast. But the production and us shooting at Something Extraordinary Content House, and me being able to say like this and make people feel this way, and when people leave our set, the way that they feel and the way that we are excited to be up at. I smiled at Warren at 7 a.m. Smiling, hey Warren, I'm so glad you're back. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know how shooting that, they're so long and so heavy, but it feels so good. Yeah. And now I'm connecting with people and helping them get the content they need. And I'm in there like, yes, get this shot. And being behind the scenes has been freeing. You know what I mean? So I feel that there is something that's brewing there, and I'm just letting it show when it's supposed to show. And so thank you very much for joining. I need you to tell the people where they can find you. All of your information will be below. So you spit it off, talk about it.
Yeah, so again, I'm Aisha with Ever Unfolding Minds, and you can go to everunfoldingmindsllc.com to my website.
All right, so don't lower your voice now.
So they made me look into the camera. I'm like,
yeah, talk about it. I need that face shot. Okay, that glam. Okay, Coach's Couture on the face. We will drop all the links. They beautified us today, so we're gonna put all the links below and on the screen. And thank you so much for coming, for showing me using your gift and your purpose and being who you're supposed to be, so you can help me do what I need to do. I appreciate you. I see you, and just want to make sure I give you your flowers. We have amazing things coming for you. You know, you will be back. Retreat. We're going to be back. Classes, everything. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure that you watch the full episode. If you're listening right now on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to Patreon. You have documentaries on there, classes, sex. There's a full masturbation and manifestation course on there. So rub that shit out. All right. Do all that. And I will see y'all next time. Thank you.